Commission's regular meeting of October 21st, 2025. Please join me with the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And there are no delegations signed up tonight to speak. We're fortunate to have with us tonight wonderful schools that are going to give their LSIC presentations. But before we get to that, I believe we have a very important recognition of Walmart providing donations to schools. And I'll turn it over to Dr. Chedrick. You're going to introduce.
Sure. We will have Susan. I asked her to introduce. We have a couple of recognition certificates we'd like to give to them. And if you come up and get our pictures, take a look.
We are so thankful to have a community of support for our school system, and one of our big supporters is our local Walmart. And through their donations, and this year alone, I've just estimated the amount of seed packets that they gave for our schools to start their ag journey throughout the county at $2.97 a packet, and we packed JB's truck completely full. I've estimated over $12,000 just since school started this year. And I've worked with these people as the CIS person at Sutton Elementary School, and they would call all the time and ask us to come and get book bags, school supplies, clothing, just anything that you can imagine. They recently gave us the foam tiles, the colorful tiles, and I was just in a classroom at Flatwoods Elementary School, and they had created a first grade reading nook out of the tiles, something soft for the kids to sit on. They donated all kinds of plant materials and equipment for the ag, and Lori Stover's ag people from the high school took that all around and shared it with the elementary schools. We had enough for also both the ag CTE class here at Braxton County Middle School and also at Braxton County High School. And Megan just called me the other day. She has another load for me, so I never know what I'm getting when I'm over there. And we'll be going over and picking up something else. But at this time, I would like to recognize Megan Cunningham and Chris Small. They are the managers at Walmart, and they have been so gracious to give to our schools. And Chris, we would thank you for your donation and your time and your effort, and for always being so helpful, and Megan for putting up with me and helping when we come. So, yeah. The board members would like to reach you as well and get a picture.
Yes, thank you so much.
Thank you. We appreciate all that you're doing.
Well, anything that we can do to help you guys out, I mean, we appreciate it.
Okay, yeah, what you do, it's what you kind of step back into, I think we get you all in the line.
You're
We need everybody to kind of shift this way just a few steps. Come this way just a few steps.
Yeah, you don't have to take
But,
it.
I know, I think, yeah, probably right here needs to be about the middle. Now this side's all scrunched and this is all scrunched just a little bit, so we're kind of, yeah, okay. You ready? 1, 2, 3.
All right, my turn, guys. 1, 2, 3. All right.
Their donations and their help have supported so many kids in our area and provided them with the things that they need.
Yeah, we like that.
Thank you very much. Oh, thank you guys.
Megan, thank you so much. We really appreciate it. I spend half of my paycheck. I mean, I can't help myself. Go in there for 4 items and come out with 20.
Yes.
Oh, good.
Thank you. Thank you.
How's it going from way?
Oh, yeah.
Megan and Chris, you're welcome to stay or you're free to go.
Possibly most exciting night.
We don't guarantee what time you would get out of here.
It's hard enough for him to leave the store, especially both of them, for a few minutes. So I really appreciate that they took the time out of their busy schedules to stop by.
Yes, and thank you again in behalf of the Board of Education. We really appreciate all of your donations. And be sure to get that next truckload full.
As soon as JB's knee replacement is complete and he can get back up in the back of his truck, we'll go over and pick that one up as well.
Okay, I'm willing to take the liberty of putting an item up on the agenda if it's okay with my fellow board members. We have approval of an MOU tonight between Mountain Capital, West Virginia, and Braxton County Family Support Center and Braxton County Board of Education for FY 25-26, and we have Autumn Osborne with us tonight. Autumn, you want to come up and share all the good things that you're doing there and how we can,
Prepared for that. So at the Family Support Center, we do all kind of good things. If you guys follow our Facebook, we have parenting classes, anger management classes. We partner with Mon Health at Stonewall Jackson, and we have a pregnancy class that's been a hit. We've partnered with the theater. They always are great to help to let us sponsor movies, and the families get a ticket to the movie and a snack and a popcorn and a drink. So it's just good little fun things for our families in the community, and we would like to be a resource for the schools to be able to pop in if we're needed or have families sent to us however we can help them. I always tell people it's easier to ask what we don't do than what we do, because that list is much shorter what we don't do. So any questions, concerns from you all?
sure do appreciate everything you're doing and helping us. I think Dr. Dietrich might have some words.
Yeah, I think it's wonderful, with reaching out to us, and I think that, it's my understanding that we also have an approval for an MOU for the WVU extension.
Yes.
We worked with, we approved, last time the board approved it to work with FFA, and now I guess there's such an interest from our other schools that they asked that it be a countywide MOU, so that's on the agenda tonight as well.
Yes, so our plan with them is, they are going to teach a 6-week nutrition eating smart to the students, the options kids, and some of the CTE students as well. And Mountain Cap is going to provide the materials for those students to take home and make those meals for their families, so.
I think that's wonderful.
Yes, so,
That is great.
so I appreciate you guys.
We appreciate
Thank you.
you.
We do.
Everything your organization is.
Thank you very much. I appreciate you guys bumping us up on the agenda and getting us in there. Lisa was a huge help to me when I called to get this done, so.
Yeah, she keeps us straight. But, thank you so much.
Thank you.
And, you're free to go, welcome to stay. And I think we'll just go ahead and approve that MOU.
Yeah, I'll make a motion that we approve the MOU between WVU Extension Family Nutrition Program and an MOU between Mountain Capital, West Virginia, and Braxton County Family Support Center and the Braxton County Board of Education for FY 2025 and 2026.
I'll second it. Okay. Been moved and seconded to approve the 2 MOUs, one between WVU Extension Family Nutrition and Mountain Capital, West Virginia, Braxton County Family Support Center, and the Braxton County Board of Education. Those 2 separate MOUs. Any discussion on the motion? No discussion on the motion. Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries. And thank you again. That's going to be a wonderful
Thank you, we appreciate it.
marriage.
Yes,
We
thank you.
call it a marriage.
Yes, we're in it for the kids and the betterment of the Braxton game, so.
Yes.
Thank you all
so
very
much.
much.
Thank
you.
Bye. Moving back on the schedule here with continuous school improvement and updates, presentations. We have with us tonight Roseville Elementary School for your LSIC presentation, and we'll let you go first and then the middle school. Ms. Wine, you're on.
Copies in case the numbers on the slides can look crazy. Thank you. Of course, we're home of ruins, but we've got our orange and black. Finally found an attractive pair, but they're kind of hard to come by. Let's see if my clicker actually was to work today. So as we get started, I'd like to just start with how far we've come. I've been at Burnsville for a few years, and when you check out where we started and where we are, it's quite a difference. Not that long ago, we were at 24% that meets or exceeds standards in English, and now we're at 44. Is it where we want to be ultimately? No, but we are consistently headed in the right direction. And while green is getting larger, the amount that our red has gotten smaller is absolutely astronomical, from 52% not meeting to 22. So but definitely looking forward to seeing those numbers continue in the right direction. In math, the last year's GSA, 46% of students met standards, compared to not that long ago at 38, and our does not meet is in the teens compared to the previous 31. So iReady reading, when we looked at the end of the year, we had 57% on grade level. That's from kindergarten all the way through 5th, and math at 62. Our mission is that we believe in empowering students for success. And our theme this year is superheroes, here every day, ready on time. So we've got like superhero themed things going on and really trying to focus on attendance on the regular. Our goals. Goal number 1, students will achieve 5% or more growth in ELA and math based on the previous year's iReady scores. 2, BES will reduce behavioral referrals by 5% or more based on the previous year as documented in LEBUS. Goal 3, looking at decreasing chronic absenteeism by 2% or more, trying to improve our average daily attendance. The average daily attendance, we fight the good fight every year. And it's just an uphill battle, especially, I mean, it's the same thing we say every year. Kids get sick, and kids are getting sick a lot right now. All of the nasty germs are flying around and everyone's getting everything. 4, looking at a school-wide STREAM and career awareness initiative, looking at all grade levels. And so we've been fortunate to have the high school with us with the ag program already this year, and the nursing program will be coming soon. Our demographics, we are small, but 75 students total, 41 boys, 34 girls. Low SES is 55%. Special education at 25% with a half-day special education teacher, a total of 8 teachers and 2 aides. This is a little snippet from our pep rally, but we were as loud as we could be to be 75 students. We gave it our best. iReady Reading Diagnostic 1. So this is where we're starting. At the beginning of the year, where students are tested on the grade level that they're in. So they should not be in green at the beginning of the year. Most of them should fall in the yellow category, which is what we have. We had 4 mid-above, 12 that are early on. So I'm pleased with that starting the school year. The majority, 35 students, where they would typically be at the start of the school year as 1 below. 9 students that are 2 levels below, and 6 that are 3 or more. We break down to where those kids are falling Kindergarten, we do have one student that's already started kindergarten in the green. Pretty impressive, especially when you consider that he didn't go to preschool. So he's a bright little fella. 8 in yellow, first grade, the majority in yellow with 12, a couple in the dark green, so they're already at mid-level. Also pretty impressive starting out the school year. We had one, the falling below, second grade, the majority right where they would be, 4 in that 3 in light green and 1 in dark. Third grade, a little bit everywhere. Our third and fourth grade, we're gonna have the most effort put in there. Several students in third grade significantly behind. The fourth grade is our smallest class with only 6 students. So we're working hard, and with third and fourth grade, we know that we have students who need identified, and we've started that process. Several are in the SAT process or have already been referred for additional testing. Fifth grade, 5 starting the year in green, 7 in yellow, and then a total of 4 in red. So looking at the diagnostic one, with reading, the very similar, the majority where they should be. Actually, that's the same slide. I don't know why I was supposed to delete this one when we switched to numbers. I'm sorry. Flip through there. Benchmark one, so just looking at third, fourth, and fifth. Third grade and fourth grade, again, we're struggling in reading. We've got the WIN groups running, small group instruction. Fifth grade, 37% on grade level, on benchmark one, 37, one below, and then 25 that are struggling. I would like to point out that for third grade, that's the first time they've ever taken a big test like that. So not only is the content difficult, but learning the platform and how to use the tools and all of those things, that it's a significant learning curve. So the math, that a total of 9 in green, 41 in yellow, 12 that are 2 below, and then 5 that are 3 or more. Again, that's K5. We break it down for the math, the 88, almost 89% for kindergarten that are right where they should be at the start of the school year. We see mostly yellow all the way across. Our first grade is struggling in math, as well as our fourth grade. And then the fifth grade is well holding steady, the majority of them at the beginning of the year. This year we did compartmentalize third, fourth, and fifth due to reduction in force. So we've got Ms. Vandernick teaching all the third, fourth, and fifth grade math classes. O.C. Allen is teaching all the ELA. And then we have Ms. Adams that has half-day special ed, and then she has her science and social studies. But it's a little bit of a learning curve. Everyone has to learn how to change classes. Now we have bells coming through the phone system, so that's a new addition that's been helpful. And they're very much being trained to become middle schoolers. So, Amy, our fifth grade group's gonna make really good sixth graders, and by the time third grade gets to go through this a couple of years, they ought to really have it down. And we're gonna give them walkers second semester with locks. So they'll have all that practice down too. And they're excited to get locks second semester. Benchmark math, third grade, 75% are below grade level. They are really struggling in math. 25% where they would typically be at the start of the school year. Fourth grade, we've got 33% in green, a small margin there at 16 in yellow, and then half the class is struggling with those math facts. We're using the fluency flight. They use it 4 days a week to help master those facts in addition to Mad Minute Math. So we're tackling the math fact problem as much as we can early on. And they're doing very well in mastering those facts with Mad Minute Math and collecting their brag tags. Fifth grade, 25% meet standard, half the one below, and then 25% not meeting standard as we kick off the year. Behavior, looking from start through the present in October, average attendance is 95%, and our chronic absentee rate is the best that I've seen it. in quite a while at 8.7. That number fluctuates often, based on attendance, and it's an ever-moving target. But the fact that we're not in double digits right now makes my heart very happy. That it's a difficult thing for us. Behavior, we've had a total of 6 incidents and 2 students who now have behavior plans because they need to be removed from the classroom for various reasons. We look at chronically absent on teams because this does not include pre-K. Just looking at numbers of students, most of them are in preschool, but we have 5 chronically absent, 1 in kindergarten, 1 in first, nobody in second grade. Way to go, second grade. Third grade has 2, and fourth and fifth are both at 3. Students that are chronically absent are already in the SAT process. We do have a few that we didn't feel needed that, even though right now they're chronically absent because we know where they've been and they've had significant illness. So they're not students that are typically chronically absent. They've just had a bad luck of a draw starting school. Looking at school culture, this comes from the spring survey. There's a lot of information to unpack in that survey, but I was very proud when we looked at our engagement and relationships and that Burnsville Elementary is above the state in this category across the board. So almost 93% of our kids feel like they're part of the school every day, 20% above the state. 86 are happy to be at school every day, which if you stop and think about how hard school is and all the stress that comes with being a kid in school, that's pretty good. That there's stuff to look forward to. We're working hard, but you get rewarded for your hard work and acknowledged for your effort. And 100% say teachers care about them and notice when they miss school. I think that ties into our morning readings from Heather Pritt, CIS, and I at the door every morning. We're a small school, everybody knows everybody, but whether you're the preschool teacher, they know the 3rd and 4th graders by name, even though they didn't have them, that we're all one big team, and we do miss you when you're not there. Make sure you know. So, in looking at culture, I feel like culture is one of those things that you're probably working on all the time, because if you're not moving forward, you're going to be moving backward. So when we started the school year, that I challenged staff during our summer academy, what do they hope for? What do you hope for our students? And of course, the answers were what you would expect for dedicated teachers. We hope that they meet standards. We hope that they connect with their students, and that they can move everyone forward with their education. So we did the same thing with students on the first couple of days of school. And some of them are definitely typical answers. This year, I hope for more field trips was the #1 answer across the board. But some of them would like big field trips, not just field trips, but big field trips. I'm not sure where they think we should go. But when you look at the others, they were very heart touching. I hope I'm a good reader. I hope I'm learning my math facts. I hope my teacher likes me. I have that several times. I hope I'm smart. And then I hope I make good friends. That while we're small, we did quite a few new students, some from out of state, some from very far out of state. And being able to come in, that's one benefit of being a small school, that when you come from far and wide, that you're instantly part of the team, and here we go, because we're small and it's easy, and our kids are very friendly overall. So we're doing well with building relationships between students and adults as well. We're on maintaining positive school culture, those morning readings that I mentioned earlier, that in morning duty, we're having breakfast in the cafeteria, which is different than what we've had since COVID, where everyone just did the grab and go. So everyone's coming into the cafeteria, they're having the breakfast in the cafeteria. And then you've got that time. If you ride the first bus, well, let's not waste that time. So students have the opportunity, it's not forced, but we have an area set up. If you need homework help, if you forgot to do it last night, or you got home and it was confusing, they can have an older student help. We have a teacher and an aide in there in the morning. They're also there for support, and some peer tutoring, because little kids, they need practice reading. And if they didn't get to read to someone the night before, they can read to a bigger kid, or bigger kids can read to younger kids. Just extra practice in building those relationships. We do have our morning mindset that we do faithfully as part of the announcements, that kids stand up, take the Superman pose, not just because we're superheroes this year. And I'm smarter than I think, I'm braver than I believe. I'm stronger than I feel, and I can do hard things every day, because those affirmations get in our head and they stick. And if I didn't believe it before, and I know that the science is there to prove it, last year when we had all the snow days, I had 3 kids come back and say, hey, I put that on my mirror because I didn't get to hear it every day. It's like, wow, that's right. Morning meeting and well checks, the same as we've done before. Most teachers did collaborative rules and expectations before, but this year we made sure that that was across the board. So when school started, you have a general idea of where we're gonna guide that to. The kids were part of the process in every single class. Dojo and some shout out cards, just little postcards to go home, in addition to Paul Power certificates. We've got weekly lessons with Ms. Shingler. We've always had a golden spatula, and this year, since we're having breakfast in the cafeteria, the kids said, we clean up after ourselves in the morning, are you not gonna notice? Like, it's breakfast and you have cereal at breakfast, can we not have a golden spoon? I'm like, sure we can. And then the older kids, if we're gonna have a golden spoon, why is it a spatula? Now we need forks, so we've got golden spoons and forks this year. The attendance trophy, student helpers during second lunch, and they very much enjoy that. We use their dojo, and if you have 100% dojo when it's time for lunch, it goes in a randomizer. Kids that met that criteria, their name gets randomly selected to help them clean stuff up. So they're in the broom and dustpan, they're helping wipe down tables. It just takes a few minutes, and they enjoy being part of the process. And Mary very much appreciates it as well. But so we're helping everyone. We're recognizing iReady Street Keepers. So those are students that pass all of their iReady lessons for the week. Superstars are students that manage to do more than the 2 and 2 that we ask them to pass every week. And then the fluency flight finishers, if they finish all of their fluency flights for the week. And there are 4, you got 5 days to get 4 done. We've got posters up in the cafeteria. The teachers have posters up in the hallway. It's amazing what seeing your name on a pretty poster and starting over the next week does. But they're very proud of themselves and look for their name every week. Communities in school. Heather's working hard with math. She tracks attendance religiously. We work together for stats for attendance. She's got the snack bag program going. And personal care items as usual, in addition to partnering with members across the county. So I've thrown in just a few pictures, because you need that. But we've got great things happening in kindergarten. This is the first week of school, 2nd grade won the attendance trophy. Some more kindergarten happening there. We were able to take students to the lake on a boat trip, and I knew it would be exciting. I didn't realize how many kids had never been to the lake. Even kids that grew up here, some of them had never been out to the lake. So to be able to take them on a boat, oh my goodness. It was a fantastic day. That we got the CTE from the high school. Had Montgomery's come back and helped us out in 1st grade as a sub. And this is Gary. It was principal, he dressed up as principal for the day as his future career. And I didn't realize at first until he's like, hey, I'm you. I'm like, you are? I said, how can I tell that you're me? He's like, well, I forgot my name tag in the classroom, but I'll get it. He's like, but I wore this purple dress shirt because I have to dress up to be the principal, and purple's your favorite color. So score. He knew exactly what he was doing that day, so we had a good time. We've had a pickleball. The Tammy brought in some pickleball clinics for us, which was great. I'd never played pickleball until they came, and I love it. It was a great time, and even kindergartners, like, of course, they're learning the foundations, but that's pretty awesome to have 5-year-olds able to play pickleball. And I think it's going to become part of what we do. They want some competitions. We might have to have some staff versus students at some point. We've talked about maybe challenging another elementary school. But so lots of fun there. These are our students who received the laptops from being selected as trying really hard on the GSA. They were more than excited to receive those. And that's where we're beginning the year. So it's a good place to start. We're farther than we have been. We've got a solid plan. We're ready to move forward. Any questions for kicking off the year?
This is the year that the Third Grade Retention Act goes into effect. How do you assess your chances of getting all the third graders over that hurdle?
As you saw from our score, we've got some work cut out with us with our third graders. But we've got wind going, we've got small group instruction. It does help that our classes are small. So while it's a drawback to be a tiny school, that is a perk along the way. And as you'll see on the agenda tonight, we're requesting funding to be able to have some after-school tutoring as well. The parents have asked about that because we don't have a Title I teacher. We need something that we can help wrap around, really work those things in. So that in combination with what we're trying to maximize every minute we've got in the morning to help kids out, we're gonna give it our absolute best and just wrap around each kid one-to-one with their scores and know where you're at and where you need to go. And we're gonna love you to life, one way or the other.
Just curious, Ms. Fine, on the third grade benchmark math, 75% in red. Do you attribute that partially to the curriculum the county has adopted in math or the math program itself, or, I mean, that's pretty significant.
I think this is more a reflection for the benchmark of it being an assessment for the whole, what you should know is content as a third grader, and you're really still a second grader. You're an second grader. And some students were where we would like for them to have been and we're on grade level at the end of second grade. So you're starting behind. The math curriculum is challenging. I think that's a good thing. And I feel like the curriculum presents multiple ways to do things, and our teachers I feel like they're doing very well and looking at, here are all the ways, but let's look at the kids that we have in this classroom, and while there might be 4 ways that we can present this, if we present way number 1 and most of it, let's not present all 4 and make it confusing. And those that need those other ways are provided those. I know that in Ms. Vandernick's class, I just had a SAT meeting with a mom today, and her daughter is new to our school and really struggles in math and always has. And said, math is hard for her, but she says that math is actually her favorite class because you can make sure she gets it no matter what. Like, you'll find a way to make sure she gets that, and that's important. So that math isn't scary and it's okay to take the risks. And when if I don't get it this way, it's all right. My teacher's gonna help me, we're gonna figure it out. If there is a way that I can get it. We're trying to do that across all grade levels, just to find a way that you learn. We're small enough that we can do that.
Is there anything we can offer or do? Is there anything you need, or is that such an open-ended question?
That's probably, yes. Everybody wants people. And it would be great to be able to have more people, but we understand that we're small and we're going to do the best with the resources that we've got. When you look at scores and where we're at, I do have to question at some point, are we going to need a full-time special ed teacher? I know we're a small school, but we've already got 25% identified, and we know that we have more in the pipeline that are going to need that support. And so, I think that might be something very beneficial in the future.
Okay. Thank you. Any other questions from the board members? Questions, comments? I'm happy that the strides you're making, it looks good, and you continue to improve, and we're happy with that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Move next to Braxton County Middle School, and look at all the good things that you're doing there.
Ready for school?
Okay.
Good evening. First, we have a little gift for you. Our CTE sixth grade made something for you. And I did not print out a paper, but you do have a pen, so if you want to take notes.
You're welcome.
So that was our sixth grade CTE, just started doing sublimation, so they wanted to make something for you guys. So we are Braxton County Middle School, and I always think, gosh, I'd like to go first so I can get it over with, but I really do enjoy hearing the elementary schools and what's going on there, and those kids are gonna be our kids, so we like to hear, you know, when I hear 75 kids in the whole school, I'm thinking that's less than my whole sixth grade. So we do have 345 students. We have 97 in sixth grade, 120 in seventh grade, and 128 in eighth grade. So we do have a lot of children in this middle school, so we have lots of stuff going on. But when I put this together and all the things that are going, and I feel like I put too much on here because there's so much stuff that's going on in the school, but I wanted to show it. So we will go ahead and get started. And I will say I usually put a knight here because we are the Knights. But Karen Harper, our school cook, she always makes sure our school looks beautiful. We usually have flowers out there. This time she did a fall decoration, so I got that picture and I thought, definitely need to use it for tonight. So Karen Harper did that. And we will start off with an overview of last year. So our attendance ended at 91.8%, and we were ranked 128th out of 168. These are proficiency percentages. Sixth grade reading was 39%, seventh grade was 32%, and eighth grade was 35%. In math, sixth grade 23%, seventh grade 16%, eighth grade 29%, and science was 24%. I didn't compare from the year before and the state and all that. I just wanted to show. We actually have a bulletin board and the picture did not turn out that great, but we have a bulletin board right in our main hallway that has and you can't see these numbers because the picture was horrible, but that was last year's, and then this is this year of Braxton County. And then I have different counties either close by or ones that we play in sports, because I try to get the kids, you know, we want to beat them in sports, let's beat them academically as well. So, yeah, the picture was really not good at all. But we have Gilmer County, Walton, Webster County, GW, Clay, yeah, a lot of Ravenswood. Most of them are ones we play in sports, but some, Gilmer, we don't play a lot in sports, but they're close by, so we want to beat them as well. So that is the scoreboard that the kids see. And I'll see them looking at it, and I'll see parents looking at it and stuff, so we're trying to get academics right up there as well. And then we have our mission statement, Braxton County Middle School, encouraging respectful and successful students by creating a culture through relationships, rigor, and relevance. And our goals, our attendance goal, we want to decrease by 3% or more compared to last year. You're going to read the next one.
By June 26th, the behavior goal, we want to reduce that by 5% or more for this following school year compared to the previous one in Weavis.
And student achievement goal, we will achieve 5% or more growth in ELA and math content area based on the previous year's scores.
Braxton County Middle School will promote career and technical education by enhancing career exploration opportunities at the elementary level, thus increasing the level of CTE participants at the secondary level by 5% or more from the previous year, based on data from the annual state level Weavis CTE summary, other district level reports, and student survey data.
And with those goals, and I'll talk about how we're trying to get our academics up, because that's always seems a struggle at the middle school, but this was our first benchmark we took at the beginning of the month, and I compared it to the state because we don't have another middle school in our county to compare, so I always look at the state, and this is reading, and for sixth grade, 28% were proficient in the state, and we were 24%. Seventh grade, the state was 26%, and we were 16%, and eighth grade, the state was 28%, and we were 25%. So other than the seventh grade, which was a pretty big decrease there, we were kind of close. math, which I feel like we focus so much on math, and so maybe we're focusing so much on math that we need to get back to reading, because they were pretty close. The state was 8% and middle school was 9%. In 7th grade, the state was 12%, we were 8%, and in 8th grade, the state was 8% and we were 7%. Again, not where the state needs to be, not where we need to be, but this was the first benchmark, and like Grace said, it's the whole year's worth of stuff that they're learning, so they were telling me, I haven't seen this stuff. I'm like, you haven't seen it yet, but you will. So there's a lot of things that they haven't even covered yet that they're asked on the benchmark. So we're anxious to take it again. I believe it's in January we'll take, so hopefully we'll see a lot of increases. We also did a science benchmark, and the state was 23% and we were 21% proficient. And some of the things that we're doing, we did get our intervention time back, which we did not have last year, and we call it It's When, What I Need. And the teachers, we have some teaching English, math, typing, SEL, AI, grammar, writing, trying to make sure I'm getting them all. And the kids are gonna, so we started it out, and you just have to tweak things as you go. So we had teachers kind of going through and teaching all of those areas. And after we did it for a while, we talked to the teachers, and it made more sense that the teacher just teach one area and the kids move. That way they get, they're teaching either their expertise area or something they can become experts in, and then the kids move. So we waited till we took the benchmark, and then once we looked at that data, the teachers sat down and made groups so they can get kids what they need together. And then we started it this week, and every week we'll rotate, and the board office has helped us get that started as well. We've had a lot of support from Tracy and Flora and Mackenzie, so we really appreciate that. But they started it Monday, and they'll be with this teacher all week, and the next week they'll change, which is middle school, it's good for change too. You get with the same teacher all the time, the same kids, that kind of. So we're excited to see, and it's teachers, the math teachers are teaching the math, they've got ideas of what they're doing, they're looking at the data. So the WIN groups we're hoping that will really help with the intervention.
And the scores.
And the scores, yes, intervention with the scores. And then we have our behavior, and I will let, it's gonna be behavior and attendance we're gonna be talking about next, and Mrs. Helmick will talk.
So as of right now, our behavior discipline referrals is at 97. From this time last year, it was 104. So we went down 7, not a lot, but we're still having issues in the classroom with students, roughhousing, goofing off, excessive talking, not doing their work. And we are dealing with those students through write-ups, SAT meetings, I had parents in today for SAT meetings. And then also technology abuse. Mr. Perry helped me with that tremendously. We had one little guy who was brilliant, isn't he? He got around everything pretty much. We brought him in, sat him down, we talked to him. He's been a model student since, so no issues there. Cell phone violations, I think we've had a total of 4. So that has really made a big impact. On the 27th of October, we're gonna be having PBIS rewards. It's an afternoon of choices. And then on the 30th, we'll be having clubs. We started clubs. Those signups are all done, right? Yes. 31st is our attendance dance. Those are some of the activities we're doing. We're still doing the gnome game where grade level attendance winners get the gnome, they name the gnome. The kids love that. And they come into the lunchroom, whoever's class was the winner, attendance winner, they get to line up for lunch first. They really like that. We're still doing tickets. We've added a couple new things. We now have the Thursday night.
Which I'll talk about in a minute.
In a minute.
About some of that.
And, yeah, we should have. And of course, the Eagle Roast, we still do Starbucks. And the kids love to come and spin the wheel. And I mean, it's everything from 5 points in a class of their choosing.
Lunch with friends.
Lunch
all
with
that, yeah.
friends, they love all that. I think that's pretty much it.
And then the attendance, last year, well, you can talk about, this hasn't changed much.
Not much, but I feel like we're doing better, working with Ms. Cox. We're gonna have, SAT meetings tomorrow morning at the high school, and we only have 13 kids, where last year I think we had 22 for SAT meetings right off the bat. So it is going down, and I think offering all the incentives have really helped decrease the attendance problem.
Of course, we battle the sicknesses and the stuff that's going on, so, and there was a lot of things, like every year that go
Yeah.
on, so. And we'll talk, our CIS, she's like our attendance guru and does everything with it, and we'll talk about that at the end too, because she, sometimes it's disheartening to us, because we know how hard we're working, and it's like, 1/10 of a, but we just, keep on having to try, and she makes phone calls, but I'll get into that later on. And then, of course, I have some pictures. We did have a back-to-school bash at the beginning of the year. We've been doing this every year except for COVID year. We had over 100 families attend, so it was very well attended, and we had a great time at our back-to-school bash. We have our fall sports pep rally every year. We do that before every sports season, or right when the sports season starts, and they play some games, and we recognize all the sports teams. And this year our sports are doing fabulous. Cross country just won the boys' first time ever, the CWVAC championship, and the girls got runner-up. Our volleyball team, they're heading Saturday to the conference tournament. And our soccer team's actually playing tonight. They won last night, so they're in semifinal games tonight at Ravenswood?
Ravenswood.
Maybe Ravenswood. They had to play today. They were supposed to play Thursday, but there was confusion. They had to go tonight after playing last night. But so they're hopefully they're winning tonight, and they'll move on. We also have our cheer competition's coming up November 1st. With it. Football is over for the season. They didn't make it to the championship this year, which I think is probably the first time in school, not in school history, but for a long time. But we'll be back again next year. We just kind of a rebuilding. I feel like we're WVU, rebuilding here. We have to go. So, no, but we do love our sports. And then we had a homecoming week. The kids love, and the teachers love to participate in the Spirit Week for homecoming, and there's our homecoming court. And stuff like this gets kids to school too. We actually had, one of the days was bring anything but a backpack to school. And it was on a Thursday. And later on I said, man, we should have really done that on Friday. But we had a parent call and said, my kid can't come to school today. They have a doctor appointment. Can they do the Spirit Day that she's missing today, tomorrow, because she really wants to do it? I said, no, we have to keep in with what it is, but that kind of, she was hating missing school because she couldn't do that. So it does help with attendance too. So that's more of our homecoming court. And then we had a homecoming dance, and the theme was Spider-Man, which a lot of people are like, what, Spider-Man? But there was a movie, Spider-Man's Homecoming or something like that, so we went through with that. But the kids had a ball, and it was very well attended. I think I counted 233 kids on the list. I mean, it was, yes, very, very well attended. And parents love to take pictures outside, and, it gets the families there too. So it was very well attended. And then our CTE, and we have a lot going on with CTE, and I wrote down a lot of the stuff because I wanted to get it right. But the sixth grade CTE, they did Shark Tank. Students learned about growing a business. Students broke into groups of 2 or 3 and created a product or a business they thought the community needed. They had to create a business plan, a prototype of their product business, a logo for their product business, and then pitch, which they presented to the class. So this was some of that up top there.
I do want to mention, while I was in the room, there was 2 6th graders that created a game, a really awesome game. So we were in the process of finding somebody to patent that game because it's an original. and they were thrilled to death.
Yeah, they came down and showed me their game. And then I'll talk about this a little bit more, but this was a 3D printed. Mr. Cantrell's class asked Mrs. McPherson's class if they could 3D print them. Does anybody want to guess what that might be? A cow's ovary. And I will get into that in a little bit, but that was a picture of it that the CTE created.
Well, I guess.
So this is a little more of our CTE. We do have the Thirsty Night now. They make lemonade and sell it to the school and over at the board office. It's $3. They call to order. The kids make it. They deliver it. Learning how to run a business. And then we have cosmetology. The boy right here doing nails. Down there, they got their nails going. We have Mr. Cantrell's class was asked to go down to the weight room to clean up down there. So they've made several trips down there. That's them in front of the weight room. And I have the school beautification. So some of the 7th grade CTE, they've been removing brush. That's another one we'll get to. Oh shoot, we gotta watch the video real quick.
Well, yeah.
This is the commercial.
It's red.
Yeah, I know, turn it up. This is the commercial that the kids made about their Thirsty Night and sent out to staff to.
Welcome to the Thirsty Night. Here's behind the scenes of how our drinks are made. Here's the mixture from the Thirsty Night. Here's the lemonade. We have the syrup. Oh yeah. Here's the edible glitter. It has some fanciness in your drink.
Fanciness in your drink.
Fanciness? Here, like you see at Starbucks. We're very professional about how we mix our drinks.
Y'all live in gloves too. You're wearing gloves for this. Perfection.
Staff? Give me the film. 2, 1. You agree? Yeah. Almost.
Or video, you can clean out there.
Thursday night, you can have your own.
So they create all their videos the way they do, every Monday, they put out a nightly
Nightly news.
news. And the teachers show it around. That wasn't the nightly news, that was just there. We had, I know Carolyn Lewis, after she watched it, she called him, she emailed right away. She said, I need a drink right now. It was so good. So they're really having a good time learning that. Oh, shoot. Okay. So this was behind our school. The brush was overcoming. It was in the summertime, Mrs. Helmick and I would go out there and eat our lunch sometimes, and I kept saying, oh my gosh, this brush is just overtaking this place. So Mr. Cantrell brought his kids out there and cleaned it up. They spent a few days working. They've been on the trail. They've also installed a culvert in the ditch that serves as a shortcut to the practice field behind the middle school, then covered it with gravel, repurposed from the wrestling building cleanup project. They assembled 10 bicycles. That was, up there's the bicycles. That was donated by Walmart for their community use. They, we haven't got to, well, right here's some of it, but there's some more pictures. They collected walnuts, and they harvested walnuts from the school property, removed the hulls, and created walnut stain used to finish benches built last year for the nature trail. Students plan to crack the walnuts and extract the kernels this winter. So they're gonna actually use it and stain some benches that were made next year, and then they're also they're gonna be working on a chess set, and they're gonna stain the chess pieces as well. They assisted in cleaning and removing debris from the wrestling building on multiple occasions, and forestry science application students used the school's nature trail to calculate the diameter breast height, the DBH, and estimate the age of the various tree species using mathematical formulas without cutting down the trees. So that picture, I'm not sure, but there's some with big trees and he's like, I'll tell you what they were doing with that. So instead of cutting it and counting the rings and stuff, there's a formula that you can use to do that. So this is some more of the walnuts. This is where they're doing artificial insemination, and they're learning how to do that. They have a replica of a cow. I walked in there today, it was the high school students are now coming down, and he's certifying them in artificial inseminations. It looked like meat, and they had the needle, and we're putting it up inside the meat where it has to go, and then they had to do it covered up with a black tarp, because in a cow, you can't see that, so you have to learn how to do it blindly, so they do it that way. But that was the embryo, and I think that's what they made to make. But there's a little cow. He's got frozen embryos. They were in a big container and stuff. So they're doing a lot of real world things in there. And then this is our literature fair. We had the literature fair this year, and we have one student that's going to be going on to the regional, Lake and Wilson. Is going to go on to Glenville. And this is some in the classroom. We have math class, social studies, science, in our self-contained room, some bulletin boards that they made. So we've been going around and we've been doing a lot of walkthroughs and just observations, and the kids are engaged and they're working. The teachers are teaching. So there's a lot of classroom things going on as well. And this is again, I don't know why I didn't take good pictures of this stuff, but I walked down the hallway the other day in 6th grade, and there was a Math Hall of Fame up above the lockers, and there was handprints on it. So I was like, what's going on? I saw them climbing up the ladder and putting their handprints. They're liking it. And Ms. Stuckler said, well, did you see the key? So I said, because some kids have one hand, some kids have two hands up there. And she said, well, look at the key. So the purple hands are mastery or exceeds mastery in the GSA practice that they took. So if they got that, they're going to get their purple hand up there. And if they got 90% or above on the Chapter 2 test, they get the red hand or pink hand up there. And then throughout the 9 weeks, she'll add, their next test and stuff. So the kids are really enjoying putting their handprints up there and paint. And then our student council, they have done some great things as well. Let me find, so I don't want to get it wrong. The student council members attended the West Virginia Association Student Council Fall Conference. Our knights were recognized for the outstanding scrapbook, achieved the gold level for Honor Council, received the President's Theme Award, and Mrs. McPherson was selected as the 25-26 Advisor of the Year. Student council members completed leadership workshops, heard from a variety of speakers, and collaborated with other student council members around the state. And my son, Caden, was invited to go. I didn't put his picture up here, but they sent it to me. Caden was invited to go and do a workshop there, so he really enjoyed, even though it was with middle school kids. He said, I had to work with the middle school kids. He said, but then don't forget what I said, but I'll be there again next year to tell him. He was talking about his PAGE program, and he got to do that, so he enjoyed. And Ms. McPherson did send me a picture, but I didn't put it on here. But they had a really great time at Jackson Mills. And then CIS, let Mrs. Helmick talk a little bit more about CIS and what all she's doing, mostly to help get kids at school and their attendance.
So, you want me to talk about the lead-in girls?
No, but just everything that she's doing with the attendance matters and putting this up around the school.
Yeah, she's got her flyers up different places in the school.
Bulletin board, that's it.
She's done her bulletin board. She pulls the kids, she does her daily calls. She pulls the kids that are having issues coming to school, and she does one-on-one with them to see if she can help in any way. She's still doing
I'll pull that up. But this I wanted to talk about because a lot of times parents didn't realize or kids didn't realize coming to school what a half day was, a whole day. So she made it, and arrive before 9:50 is tardy, arrive after 9:50 is a half day absent. If you leave after 1:50 it's tardy, and if you leave before 1:50 it's a half day absent. So we put that on our Facebook, we put it around the school, we have it right by the sign out sheet so that parents will know, like, hey, maybe if I wait 10 more minutes, they won't be counted, you know, or if I wait till the end of the day, they won't be counted the half-day absences. So just getting more awareness of what an absence is and the times.
Well, and the kids really pay attention because especially of athletics.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
They really
And then these are the
watch
things that
those.
she's doing.
Yeah, she calls every day, homeroom attendance competition, attendance awareness, surprise you're here days. She does math tutoring. She calls kids up from lunch. Well, after they've had lunch, then they can go work with her one-on-one. She does the weekend snack bags. Still does clothing hygiene in the school supply closet, food pantry. And then the lead-in girls is, I guess it was through a grant, wasn't it, that she got? It's a 15-session curriculum designed for girls and young teens who identify with the girlhood experience, ages 11 to 15, with equal parts of strength building and real talk on the biases and barriers girls face. And it's a curriculum that teaches girls to embrace their leadership superpowers and to reject limiting stereotypes about what girls can't do.
So she's gonna be working with a select group of girls and with their CIS. And then the Community Code Connect, Empowering Families with AI and Cyber Skills, that's a $4,000 grant that our school got. And the overall goal of it is to gap between classroom learning and community awareness by equipping students and families with fundamental skills in computer science, AI coding, and cyber security. So we're going to be having family nights where the kids are going to be the mentors and helping families to learn more about AI and cyber skills. And so we're excited about that as well. And CIS is going to be helping. But we did get, we have a whole plan here of who's going to do what and when it's going to happen and what we need to purchase for it. So we're excited to get that. And then I'm going to end with a video. We had Christy, all 6th grade students got to do this. It was the Mountaineer Mile. And Christy Tinney with the Upshur County Commissioner and 304 Today with Lauren Winans did the Mountaineer Mile featuring students in an upcoming segment on 304 Today with Lauren Winans. This is a clip from our Night Watch Facebook page, and our segment will air on 304 Today WBOI at a later date. So it's up on their Facebook, and then I put it on our Facebook. And they played an interactive nutrition game with them to encourage students to think about healthy eating. They led a fun walk with the students that includes chance cheers and a repeat after me military style call to keep them energized and engaged. And then they took a walk on the nature trail. So it's a short clip. If it'll come up, I think it will.
And Christy, I don't know if you can see. So far, where are we at today? Well, we just got to Braxton County Middle School, and Christy, I don't know if you can see. So far, so good here. They have kids out playing. They've had kids walking up and down the hill. There was a guy driving a tractor. We're liking what we see in Braxton County. It looks like they take their health seriously here.
Yeah, I'm super excited. It looks like they were building a new wrestling facility. I was really excited about that.
We know Christy's excited about the wrestling.
So we're going to talk to some kids today here in Braxton County. I think 6th grade who we have.
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah. And the Secretary of Health staff is coming to meet us today.
They are. You know it.
So we are in Braxton County at the middle school. They have a walking trail. Christy, how cute is this?
This is the cutest walking trail. Little bridges, cute little rocks.
90-some kids with us.
That is some kids behind us. Here's our new buddy. He's helping us with the walking trail.
Yeah, I'm the best.
He's the best. You're with the winning group. You're not getting a sauce, are you?
No, I'm not.
No. Do you like coming here to Braxton County Middle School?
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah?
Way better than my elementary school.
Way better than your elementary school. And what's your favorite thing about school?
My favorite thing about school, probably gym or how nice the teachers are. They're really understanding too.
Oh, that's nice. And probably when you have fun visitors like Lauren and I, right?
What?
When you have fun visitors like Lauren and I?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
you guys are amazing.
Yeah, that's awesome. We didn't even pay him to say that.
That's it, yeah. So that's been our year so far, 9 weeks in, and a lot of activities, really trying to get kids at school. They gotta be there to learn. I feel like I say that every time. You can't learn unless you're not at school. Stat meetings, academic, attendance, behavior. We're trying to reach out to the families to get support. Like I said, we've had excellent support from the board office getting things going. I've talked to several of them about what to do with kids that are struggling. We've got to figure out, we can't just let them keep going on, and so we're working on a lot of ideas. Do you guys have any questions?
Looks like you've been really busy.
We have been really busy. When I put all that together, I think, my gosh, we got to do a lot of stuff.
A lot of activities, but it's great to keep your students engaged, and I think you all do a great job with that.
Thank you.
Question, comment? Thank you so
All right,
much.
thank you. I appreciate the time. I know I always go over, but we always have a lot.
Good things happening. Good school. Shout out to Burnsville, bring staff with you.
Yeah.
Say we've got half your staff.
Yeah, she would bring half your staff.
I think you could have brought all 75 kids with you.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for coming, and you're free to stay, or you're welcome to stay, but you're free to go. Tomorrow's a school day, so you know that we have to get back to business.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
So we'll move next to the consent agenda items. We already have 5 sets of minutes, September 16th, 26th, October 2nd, September 30th, October 7th, and October 10th. So 5 sets of minutes, budget transfers and supplements, and payment of bills. Entertain a motion.
I'll move that we approve the consent agenda items as presented.
I'll second.
Been moved and seconded to approve the consent agenda items as presented. Any discussion on the motion? No discussion. Those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries. Moving next to personnel matters. We have recommendations here on updated personnel. We have a resignation from Alita Gerald, resigning her position as substitute teacher effective October 13th. Employment recommendation for Isaac Casto, first grade teacher, Burnsville Elementary. Service recommendations, resignation from Kate Hogan, cook at Davis Elementary, effective October 31st. Employment, service personnel, April Garrett, ECAT A, Sutton Elementary. Shayna Shaver, ECAT A, Davis Elementary. Theron Hire, bus operator 34A. And extracurricular recommendations, employment. We have Jamie Hefner, Faith Harper, Josh Bordeaux as new teacher mentors at all locations. We have Zachary Harrison, athletic trainer, Braxton County High School, effective upon completion of any applicable requirements. Other recommendations, permission to post and hire the following positions. Grant manager for the Illumina program to be paid for with grant funds. 2 after-school tutors for Burnsville Elementary School to be paid for with Title I funds. 2 after-school tutors for Flatwoods Elementary to be paid for with Title I funds. 1 student council advisor for Braxton County High School and Braxton County Middle School to be paid for with county funds. And approve the following volunteers for Braxton County Schools: Amanda Zakowski, Andrea Juffman. Is that Juffman or Huffman? I think that's probably a typo, I believe.
I'll check.
Yeah, I think it's Andrea Huffman. Brianna Johnson, Brianna Miller, Carissa Queen, Chloe Ice, Cora Chisler, Courtney Wilfong, Daisy Thomas, Hannah Hendrick, Jasmine Schumann, Jessica Miller, Jill Cottrell, Judy Schaefer, Katie Brady, Caitlin White, Haley Lamb, Leo Thomas, Mackenzie Baird, Madeline Conley, Marcy Green, Myra Duckworth, Paula Meadows, Penny Frame Stout, Rochelle Pritt, Cheyenne Morrison, Solita Carper, Stacey Bush, Steve Rollins, Tony Meadows, and Zeta Amrick Jones. Also approving the placement of Glenville State University student Sandra Kreitz as a clinical teacher of record in the 4th grade position at Flatwoods Elementary School, effective with the beginning of the 2nd semester. And the following leave requests: Madeline Tucci Knight seeks to extend her parental leave until November 10th of 25 using unpaid leave, and Elizabeth Bright seeking to be absent from her position on an as-needed basis as cafeteria manager at Sutton Elementary School beginning October 17th and continuing for the remainder of the school year using family, medical, and other leave.
It is Andrea Huffman. I'll correct it.
Okay, thank you. So those are your personnel recommendations.
I move that we approve the personnel recommendation from the superintendent.
I'll second it. Been moved and seconded to approve the updated personnel and professional and service recommendations as presented. Any discussion on the motion? No discussion. Those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, motion carries. And Dr. Teacher, do you have anything under personnel matters in addition to what we've already acted upon? And we can go right into superintendent updates.
Yep, just superintendent updates.
All right, you got the floor.
Okay, I'll have to say that I'm very happy. One of the things that I've challenged each of my directors to do, actually everyone here in the board office, to work on grants. I want to secure as much funding as I can to support our school system. That's not always happened in the past, but that's been one of our goals. We've actually secured several grants, and as you can see, Susan Schieffer was able, to secure a lot from Walmart. So oftentimes you just need to ask, because people won't help if they don't know that you need help. And our community is very, very generous. But I've asked our folks to extend our request, from countywide to statewide to nationally. So one of the things that I'm really happy is that we were awarded $382,422 $442 for the COPS grants for update door access countywide and replace the camera systems at the high school. And I'll have to say that, of course, that falls under Melissa,
but Melissa informed me that Nate actually did most of the work. So thank you, Nate, for bringing that grant opportunity to the county that we did not know anything about. So he not only brought us the information, he actually did the majority of the work to get that grant. That's a huge grant, and it's really, really gonna help us out. So very, very grateful for our deputy director for doing that for us.
Did you write yourself in a pay increase in that?
10%.
All right, let's put the brakes on.
Looks like 2020.
Hey, if the grant's paid for it, I'm good with that.
Next time. Technical advisory.
But very fortunate. I mean, that's a huge grant, and we had no idea about it. And Nate, I want to make sure that I give credit where credit is due. Of course, it was under Melissa. Melissa did work on it and helped.
He did the vast majority of it.
Nate did the majority of it, and he brought it to us, so very, very appreciative. The sheriff's department and EMS also signed letters of support for this, so, we didn't get a grant that we had applied for earlier, but again, when I was feeling pretty down about it, Nate says, hey, we'll write another grant.
Yeah, and that grant we could have only gotten $50,000, so this one.
Yeah, so this one, $382,000, so, yeah, so anyway, very happy about that. Also, I had, again, in my challenge, I've not only challenged my board office, I've also challenged principals to write grants. So, the Country Roads grant and our middle school did present on it. They talked about the AI and Community Connections grant that they were awarded. That was the Community Roads grant from the Department of Ed. They were awarded $4,000 to do it. Josh Porto with Davis Elementary was also awarded, and Anita Lambert for Sutton Elementary. So all three of our schools actually got awarded the grant. So, $4,000, that just helps promote and do things to, further benefit our kids. So, I'll try to keep giving you grant updates. I mean, we do have money coming in, and sometimes I forget to mention that, but, give those folks kudos because it is extra work that they have to do. Like I said, and I know that, I'll go back to Nate, I know Nate spent a tremendous amount of time on doing this one. Also, I'll have to say, Chris Smith stopped in, saw Melissa today because she's our safety director, and he is with the school safety unit of the Capitol Police, and he is required to do an unannounced visit to all of the schools within his region once a year. And so he did his visits to the schools in Braxton County today. And he told Melissa that he was very impressed with the responses that he received and the willingness and how we follow the processes that we're supposed to be following. So kudos to our school system for stepping up and doing what they need to be doing to keep our students safe, and it just feels good hearing someone from the state who's charged with doing this, giving us kudos for how we're implementing our safety.
All right, good report. Okay, thank you. All right, no old business, we'll move to the new business. Request for blanket approval for utility payments to be paid if a late charge will occur between board meetings.
And the board had already approved something like that, but the language, our new treasurer said she would feel comfortable if we tweak the language just a little bit, and she's very, very thorough in everything she does. So I said, I don't have a problem with tweaking it. I feel that was the intent of the board, but I have no problem with putting that on to tweak it to read this way. We just don't ever want to have to pay a late fee because the bills do come in between board meetings sometimes.
Yeah, it only makes sense. So, okay, you've heard that request. Is there a motion?
I'll move that we request blanket approval for utility payments to be paid if there's going to be a late charge that occurs between board meetings.
I'll second that.
You've heard the motion. Those in favor of the motion, or any discussion, sorry. Good planning there, so we don't incur late fees. Okay, those in favor of that motion, signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, motion carries. Moving next to permission and approval to cover costs associated with bus driver CDL training for for individuals willing to commit to drive for Braxton County Schools for 1 year. And I'd just like to say amen to that.
Well, I have to admit, Larry Hardaway mentioned that about a year ago. And at that time, it was just something that it's very challenging. I mean, we have potential to spend a lot of money up front for individuals who do not complete the classes. But we are in such a situation now, I think we have to take the risk. And, you know, it is difficult for someone looking for a job to come up with maybe $400 or $500 out of their pocket to pay for these things. So anyway, I thought about what Larry had said at one of the previous board meetings some time ago, and I thought, you know, I think we're just gonna have to try and see if we can get some more. We do have 2 trainers now. I have our facilities director, I asked him to reach out to the state to see what we would have to do to actually have one of our individuals trained to actually give the driving test, which would help. So they're working on a more efficient method of helping people close the system to get our folks certified. But again, I'm afraid that it could potentially cause issues with, you know, having that upfront cost. But I will have an MOU, I will have an agreement or something drafted by Melissa, legal binding agreement that the individual has to sign that they drive. If they don't drive, then of course I would be seeking the reimbursement of those fees.
Well, I thought it was interesting, before I'd really studied our agenda for tonight, I'd gotten a private message from an individual out there that has attended part of the training, and he messaged me, and the only reason he had not completed it because he was talking about the background check and the CDL, I guess there's, yeah. And I mean, really, in the overall scheme of things, you're not talking about, I don't think, big bucks. I mean, I guess it could be, but if this becomes too onerous for the board, I'm sure there's businesses out here in this county that would sponsor a bus driver candidate. I mean, $500, I mean, you know, it's not a lot of money for some businesses, it might be for others, but I'm just saying, because we have such a critical need. And I think from the parent community, this is an investment that I feel like we have to make. And because there's nothing worse than kids standing out and we don't have bus drivers in the morning to pick kids up. Or parents get those calls saying, your bus is not running today because the bus driver is ill and we don't have a substitute to send them. So I think this is a wonderful step in the right direction.
So one of the things I want to monitor, one of the things that I've been very concerned about, for example, the last bus driving class, I think we had 9 people that started through the class. We only have 3 finishing it, which 9 times 500 is $4,500. My understanding is one of the individuals finishing it said, I don't plan to drive for you. So it costs $3,000 to $4,000 for someone to go through the CDL training. So if we are not careful, it's going to be critical that they sign the MOUs. They could use us as a free CDL avenue, and we could be spending a lot of money with testers and all that we're doing and not have the benefit of having drivers. So that's why I think that it is a win-win with this, to have that MOU, that they sign it, and then that way they have to pay us back if they don't drive for us. Because I'm with you, it really bothers me when we don't have drivers. Or you have a parent, you know, then parents get a call to have to come pick up their kids because we don't have a bus to deliver. I mean, it's a hardship on families, and we have to do better. So I agree with you. But that's what I've been reluctant about doing it. But I think we're at the point we have to try something, try it. Yeah,
We do.
and you're right, you can always pull back if it becomes too much of a burden, yeah.
I don't even know if it's legal for a business to support, make donations towards that program itself, bus driving training. I mean, you don't care where it goes as long as it goes into transportation.
Well, I think that honestly, we could leave this open-ended. I don't think we will ever have a situation that we have more substitutes for drivers than we need. And so, as far as us paying, I think we will be okay in that aspect. But if we do end up with 20 substitutes and we don't need it, then we can always back off, then we just don't have as many bus driving classes. Right now, I've asked them to set up, and they're scheduled online, 4 bus driving classes, for the school year, yes, and they're on the weekends, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Friday evening, Saturday, Sunday, so that way if someone's working, they can continue to work their regular job and come do this on the weekends. So it takes, a couple of weekends to do the book work and then a few other weekends to get the driving done.
Okay? So you've heard the presentation.
Would this be a reimbursable cost or is it an upfront cost?
Right now, it's a reimbursement, so the board has it active right now. Anyone that goes through our bus driving course, if they drive for us for a year, we will reimburse them these fees. What I fear is happening is that maybe we don't have people going through it because they can't afford the upfront costs. So instead of us reimbursing, I'm saying we pay the upfront cost, but have them sign an agreement, a legal binding contract that says, again, if they don't drive, then, we have options to get the money back.
And the person that messaged me that's already attended partially the training, I don't know where he is. He works at Walmart, he cannot afford the background check or the, physical and CD. I mean, it was gonna be a hardship, so, and he really wants to finish. And, he could still probably keep his job in Walmart, but still drive the bus morning and evening, so.
So this would probably be a purchase order kind of effort to issue a purchase order and an invoice and pay bills like.
That's what we would have to do. I mean, the process of getting that paid, I'm not 100% sure. I just have to have our treasurer tell us how to do it. But again, I'm hopeful that we're able to write this language in a way that it will deter. I just hate to pay money. I mean, so if people are serious in going through it, then, I think it's a great thing. But people who are not serious, we could potentially spend, $500. But if we spend $500 on that person and they drop out after we spend the money, then of course we'll have recourse to recoup that money.
Right.
I mean, I'm not sure what other avenues to go.
One thing for sure, we've got to do something for the shortage. We can't get them to school, and I would think that we would have to improve our attendance, even in the long run, the more bus drivers we have, because if you don't get kids, not everybody can afford to bring kids to school every day and then come and pick them up.
Well, I think we've had one route that was canceled so far this year, and then we've had a couple that it was limited. I think we've covered it pretty well, but in this winter, it concerns me because you have more illnesses and with limited drivers, and we have some drivers who are off because of, illnesses. It's going to be a struggle. So.
Can I also say you need to look at the age of your current bus drivers, because a lot of them are at retirement age. And you have a lot of retired, not really a lot of retired substitutes. But that's giving their time now to cover these routes.
It's hard to recruit the Keith Browns of the world.
Well, I'm just saying, he's considering retiring and he doesn't plan on coming back.
As a sub. So, just been planning, I think. Okay, so you've heard that. Is there a motion? I think there's a motion on the floor.
I think that Larry ought to be the one who makes that motion. Since it was his
He's what
idea.
brought it up.
Okay. I make a motion that we, go ahead and, come up with an MOU to be able to pay for the CDL, fees for our bus drivers if they drive for us for a year. And if not, then we go back and get our money back through legal ways.
I'll second the motion.
Been moved and seconded to approve the MOU, to cover the costs associated with bus driver CDL training for individuals willing to commit to drive for Braxton County Schools for 1 year. Any discussion on that motion? No discussion. Those in favor of the motion, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries. Moving next to the approval of FY 25 unaudited financial statements.
Yes, so it's the last financial statements, from, Erica Whitney.
All right. Not hearing the motion.
I'll make a motion we approve the FY 2025 unaudited financial statements as provided.
I'll second that motion.
Moved and seconded to approve the FY 25 unaudited financial statements of Erica Whitney. Any discussion on the motion? No discussion. Those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries. Moving next to the approval of an MOU between Sutton Baptist Church and Sutton Elementary for trunk or treat.
And it's, of course, free, they're not going to charge them anything.
I move it be approved.
Been moved and seconded to approve the MOU between Sutton Baptist Church and Sutton Elementary for trunk or treat. Any discussion on that motion? No discussion. Those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, motion carries. All right, we've already taken care of E and F. We'll move to G, repeal policy 1350, administrative records.
It's already been replaced, so it's duplicative. It's information is covered from policy 5120, Freedom of Information Act request, which is also on the agenda for revision tonight.
Okay, let's get it repealed.
Well, I'll make a motion we repeal policy 1350, administrative records.
I'll second the motion.
Been moved and seconded to repeal policy 1350, which is administrative records, which replaced by 5120, are covered under policy 5120. Any discussion on that motion? No discussion. Those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries. Permission to place on public comment for 20 days, policy 4205, proposed revision and renaming suicide attempts and threats.
Yeah, this is a really good, it's just putting our current practice in the policy. So it lays out our procedures for completing risk assessments on the individuals who have made threats of harm against themselves or others. The process measures risk objectively using evidence-based criteria. Our staff has been trained doing these for a couple of years, and it just lays out the current practice. So, that's one of the things that I've started here, that if there is a threat, oftentimes young kids will say something and not realize even what they're saying. And I think anytime there is a threat of harming themselves or harming someone else, there should be an assessment. So anyway, I think spelling it out is really important, and this lays it all out in policy.
I move that policy 4205 be placed on public comment for 20 days.
I'll second that motion.
Moved and seconded to place policy 4205 on public comment for 20 days. Any discussion on the motion? No discussion. Those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, motion carries. Permission to place on public comment for 20 days, policy 5120, proposed revision Freedom of Information Act request.
On the policy that you have before you with the changes, note that the policy number is 5120, not 1350. And this is brings current policy into compliance with state code, adds a section for definitions, and also updates the fees we may charge to include black and white copies will go from 40 cents to 50 cents per page. Colored copies will be $1 per page. Current policy did not allow for an additional charge for colored copies. Postage, current policy did not allow for this cost. And electronic media, $10 for the thumb drive or CD-ROM. And there will be no charge for documents that are emailed or if the fees collected would be less than $10.
Those fees seem pretty reasonable to me. And I like the fact that you don't mess around trying to do things less than $10 too. It's convenient most times.
I'll move that we place policy 5120 on comment for 20 days.
I'll second that motion.
Moved and seconded to place policy 5120 out for public comment for 20 days. Any discussion on the motion? No discussion. Those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries. We have 5 third and final readings with policy 2306, 2321, 2500, 4400, and 5200. I think we could handle all 5 of those if you want to just restate the policy and what it is for in your motion.
We had 0 comments.
0 comments, great.
I'll make a motion that we, that third and final reading and adopt policy 2306, instructional resources, policy 2321, embedded credit, policy 2500, graduation requirements proposed revision with the combination of policy 2501, policy 4400, participation in extracurricular activities, and policy 5200, parent and family engagement.
I'll second that motion.
And moved and seconded to put out for third and final reading, with possible action to adopt the policy 2306, 2321, 2500, 4400, and 5200.
This is for approval. This was for third reading. Okay.
Yes, I meant to say that. So, any discussion on that motion? No discussion. Those in favor of the action to adopt policy as aforementioned. Any discussion? No discussion. Those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, motion carries. All right, we move to the good times, board member remarks. We'll see what you have tonight, Dr. Seal.
I participated in the literature fair. That was the first in a long time for Braxton County. It seemed to go well. I was one of the judges. It's a little difficult to really do that. Those of you who participate in that know that that's sometimes a challenge for anybody. But that was a good thing, and likewise, the luncheon for recognition of Flatwoods Elementary School's improvement and advancement in terms of improving their rankings and their test scores for last year. But it was appropriate to recognize those staff members, which participated as well as somebody else, at least one of them.
That was nice. Larry?
I will give congratulations to the boys and girls soccer team at the high school. They've had a tremendous year. The boys are still undefeated and I think ranked number one maybe in their class. And they start regionals tomorrow night at home. And I'm pretty sure it's gonna be on Braxton Live for those that can't get to the game. And just wanna wish these kids good luck. And let's go ahead and win the whole daggone thing.
Stop messing around.
Might be some good scholarship opportunities out of that.
That's it.
Kevin?
I just say that, one, continue to be impressed with what our schools, elementary schools, and schools are showing in terms of our initial test scores and what the kids have retained over the summer. Pretty impressive, which means that our efforts last year definitely helped with their retention, and they actually learned it and not just memorized them. So they actually understand the concepts and application, which is pretty impressive across the board. It's also good to see the chronic absentees. I think so far in elementary schools below 10% compared to where we were just 2 years ago. I mean, 20-some percent. Now we're down to under 10. And I know we're just starting a school year and don't want to jinx us, but I'm not going to wait here. But very impressive with what everything from community to schools really is doing and how everybody is just taking it on and just the overall growth in the whole county. And I'll just reiterate what the superintendent said. I mean, the power of the grant system across the board, state, federal, just can't be underestimated. I mean, with Nate's work and Melissa's, another $400,000 coming into our county and only runs on a budget of 20 million. I mean, that's a big chunk of change for us, especially in those specific categories. Working on CTE grants, working on so much stuff that really superintendent's spearheading and just powerful programs to provide more for our children here in the county and show them that you can have a quality education in a rural county where people care and just put effort into the program. And that's what we're seeing. I'm just proud to be a part of that. And go Eagles tomorrow night. Cool.
Okay, Lisa?
Concur with what everyone said so far. As I was driving up here tonight, this was the first time I'd come up here, apparently, that I got to see the wrestling building, the signs. Looks amazing. Yeah, it was hard to keep my eyes on the road. Like, wow. And it looked really good though, very, very nice. Thanks to Grace and Burnsville staff for coming out this evening and sharing, the updates. Everything's looking good. And same way with the middle school, Amy and Sharon. Things seem to be going well.
Very good. Okay. And I'd like to concur with everything that's already previously been stated. We have a great system, regardless of some of the social media keyboard warriors. We just have to continue to promote our positive culture that we have going in this county, and We have a lot of wonderful things happening, and I think that everybody deserves a pat on the back that's been part of this improvement. Each school, every school, staff member, parents, everybody seems to be pulling in the right direction to bring this county to the greatness that it once was in. And that being said, I had an idea that I wanted to run by my colleagues tonight in terms of encouraging our youth to be more actively involved and engaged in the community by recognizing the importance of giving back. And with that in mind, of course, we do a great job of recognizing sports and academics and other extracurricular activities. Why not a community involvement service award to a deserving student? I know that this is something that is very important to the community, and we have great students. It could be given to like a deserving senior, and it would be, I think, a first for this board to perhaps this would be like a Board of Education award. And it would be based on community service, impact on the community, academics, academic achievement, attendance, no behavioral violations, letters of recommendation, and we could also look at extracurricular activities and school organizations. So just wanted to throw that out to my colleagues to see if that's something you think we would be interested in. It's just another step in the positive direction that we're trying to bring to the system. And I would like to say again, poverty does breed creativity, and we have a lot of creative minds. I mean, anytime we can get almost a $400,000 grant, we are poor, but we're proud. And I think we're very creative. And thank you, Dr. Tetrick, for, I'm gonna stop short of saying requiring our staff to become grant writers, because, I mean, you can maximize state aid and all the federal aid that we give for our school. You can just bring in extras through the grants. And I think that was a novel idea, and thank you for that. Thank you for the grant writers. Because there's a lot of work, as you know, because I'm sure Gabby does a lot through the Economic Development Group. So that concludes my remarks, and if you all want to think about what I just said in terms of the idea, we can ask our superintendent how she feels about that.
I was gonna say, I think it's a wonderful idea, and if it's something the board is so inclined, I can prepare a proposal for you to review and accept, or to, bring as, something you would like to do as board members. I can put that together, formalize it for the next board meeting if you would like.
That would be good.
And then you all can decide if it's, what you would like.
Well, thank you. All right, we're at the most favorite time of the evening, 7:53 p.m. It's time for adjournment. So